Hey, this is Eric with Sunland Guitars. Welcome. Hope you enjoy this video on how I installed some James Hetfield signature EMGs. It wasn't too bad. There was a little bit of some troubleshooting that I had to go through. So I really hope this helps and helps you kind of plan and prepare properly to know what to expect when installing some on your own. So let's go. I'll show you what the inside the box looks like. So you got your two pickups, 4 pots, the board, and a new jack, and then all the wires that you need, all quick connects. So first we're gonna remove the knobs, and we're gonna get into the back, the control cavity here. And as you saw, there's only 3 knobs, so we didn't need the whole like two volume, 2-tone setup. The instructions did have a setup for this, so don't worry about getting weird if you have to do that. But next, we open up the switch, and as you can see, I labeled everything. So volume, uh, tone, or sorry, neck bridge, and O for output. I'm also replacing the jack in this video too, just because the customer broke the jack off of the front, so he needed a new one. But right now I'm just pulling everything out, trying to get everything situated, disconnected from the pots so I can remove the old pots. I like to use tape to tape stuff out of the way. If you're a beginner, it might be good to tape the whole back of the guitar, kind of protect it in a way just so you don't burn it or drop solder on there. As you can see there, all the red wires from the battery is going to have to be disconnected from each other, desoldered. And then showing you here, removing the wires from the old output jack. So we got our 3 main wires from the switch coming out. There's our bridge ground, getting that out of the way. All right, let's remove the pots. And remove the pickups. This customer also it's not all these videos. The customers want me to leave the strings on. Totally doable. Just take the tension off. There's no tension on those strings, so it's really easy to get them out. And also see the difference of the size of the screws. With arch top guitars, the angled pickup covers have different size of screws, so be aware of that. All right. We're removing the old pickups from the pickup rings or pickup mounts. I just like to get everything packed away, keep all the screws and springs together with all the old pickups in case that the customer wants to use them for later, or in your case, if it's for yourself. All right, there you go. So you see here, you may not need to do this, but just removing all these here and installing the new one. So it's literally just putting it right back to where I found them. I didn't like how where all the wires were facing. It was going to be a lot harder to get that back in, so I needed to come in from the top angle. All right, yep. See, so there, me putting down tape just in case caused some issues. Um, but just soldering the wires back together. Repositioning so I can get a good contacts on there. There we go. All right. Now we're dropping it back in. Just be gentle. Try not to let it scrape the sides and get that contact taken away or mess with the solder contacts. But it's pretty straightforward. And then as you can see, I keep that plastic on top of the pickups throughout this whole process until the end so I don't scratch. And then we're just screwing these back in with the new screws. Always use the screws that come with it just because those are meant for the plate that's on the bottom of each pickup. And so I showed there that there's a long one and a short one. So we're going to remove that. And then we're going to install it just like this. You see the red, the black, and the white in that direction. The arrow pointing up there. And now this was fun, feeding the wires back through there. So you see that the black and the white are together and the red is separate because they go to different banks. Trying to speed through this. It's just, brace yourselves. It's really hard to get these back in. Just because the quick connect the ends are thick. So trying to feed those back through is definitely difficult. There we go. And screw this one in place so it doesn't move around, doesn't fall out. Nice and snug. So make sure you put the mounts on correctly, so that they're angled the correct way. Short side to the left towards the neck pickup, thicker side towards the saddle or the bridge. Then the quick connect again, arrow pointing up, red on top, black and white. And this is the shorter one instead of the longer one for the neck pickup. I think this one was a little easier to feed through there. And screw everything down. I like to pin the first one and not tighten it until we get at least the second one, if not all the four other three snug first. All right, so let's do the pots. This might get a little confusing because I had to troubleshoot this. But as you can see, there's two volumes in one tone. That's the way that the only instructions told me, so that's the way I used. And it did say to put the tone first, so I'm gonna show you how to put. I'm gonna show you at first to put the tone first and then the two volumes, but we're gonna end up switching that later. But these are how all the washers and nuts go on. So it's nut, washer. Yep, this washer so that it actually sticks to the wood. And then you're gonna put a washer and a nut on the other side. Tighten that up. I like to use these nut drivers as far as I can go, and then I'll use needle nose pliers just to get it a little bit further because these bottom out a little bit. There we go. All right, so that's what that looks like. You can see kind of how I positioned it. Just trying to imagine how the wires are going to connect on there so that they don't butt into each other. All right, now we're doing the battery. The red one was easy. Like I said, this black connector was really thick and had trouble getting through the hole. So I'm just trying to feed it through as gently as I can. Using some Allen wrenches to try to shove it through there. And then I'll use my needle nose pliers to pull it through once I get through there. Once again, this was fairly frustrating. It's not easy. All right, there we go. So that came through. Now we'll do the output jack. I'm just showing you how to install that with the jack plate. Tighten that up. Little 1/2 inch wrench. All right, and then we're gonna quick connect it, or are we? So this was also another kind of difficult one, pushing this one through. But I realized, oh wait, where do the battery needs to go to the jack? Oh wait, it's not long enough. What are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna have to take it back out. um, and we're gonna have to drill a new hole. So instead of it going through closer to where that bridge ground wire is going, I needed to drill a new hole to kind of cut that corner to be able to feed out of the output jack. So we're drilling a new hole here. Be very careful so that the drill isn't spinning on the top or on the wood there. As you can see, I'm putting down a piece of tape. I wish I had a longer drill bit, but I just wasn't looking to mess with that at the time. All right, let's try this again. So we're gonna put the jack, show you here how to quick connect the jack. So you see the white and the black there. We're gonna feed the battery line through. So we got the black one again. Also, once again, a little frustrating because probably could have done a little bit bigger of a hole. Had to open it up a little bit, get a little further into there. Just getting caught on everything. All right, there we go. We got it. So we got the black wire fed through its way, and then the black or the red one going through the other way. There we go. Let you see that. So plugging in the battery line. So you see white, black, and then battery. We'll feed those through. The most difficult part of this swap was feeding these wires through the holes. So if you struggle with that or you get frustrated with that easy, I would recommend just opening up all the holes another drill bit or two size up. And nice and snug. Oh, yep, the line from the output jack is not long enough to reach the tone pot. So what do we need to do? Well, we're going to switch the tone and the volume around. So then we have a volume tone, which I think was better anyway. It was just I was following in the directions and they were telling me to do the master tone first and then the neck volume and then the bridge volume. But instead, I'm going to do this kind of the traditional way. So it's going to be set up as the neck volume, bridge volume, and then the master tone. All right, so here we go. I did like how these connectors fit. It was really nice and snug. Sometimes with these quick connect systems, they're really finicky and loose and they pop out. These felt really tight, so I think they'll stay really well. But I'm just plugging in all the wires. So the white and the black ones that come with it, as you can see, go on the on each pot. And then we're going to plug in the pickups. There we go. So that's the neck pickup, black and white. And then you leave the red off to go onto the bank later. Just plugged in the black and the white from the bridge onto the bridge volume. Then there's a look at the bank. And it's very well labeled, very easy to read. All right, so as you can see there, the output is going in there from the tone pot. And then your neck, black and white. Bridge, black and white. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's early in the morning when I do these. All right, connect all your reds to the red bank. There you go. And then, so this kind of little monstrosity from the from the switch. So there's only two grounds there. So one is from the bridge, and I technically had what, two or three from the jet or from the switch. So I just put them all together so that they could go in that one slot. And then just read your labels. So the output from the jack goes there, and then neck, and then bridge. And you just screw those down with a micro screwdriver. Test them, pull on them, make sure they're really tight. They're not going to come out. Looks good, or everything's connected. It doesn't quite look good yet, and we'll get to that kind of finish technique on how to make it look good. But we're installing the battery. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Even with it going to the new hole. So let's cover everything back up. Do the tap test. So I just take a screwdriver and I tap on them. Test the volume, test the tone. You can hear all that. Test the switch, volume and tone in each position. And good to go. All right, put the knobs back on. Screw that plate back on to the switch cavity. All right, here's where I like to show getting a little nicer looking. So I use zip ties and kind of zip tie all the reds together, all the black and whites together. I think it helps them hold each other in so they don't get out. And then the rest here is really just trying to figure out where the wires want to go naturally. Um, and you don't want to pinch anything or cause any kinks because that can create a short in the wire, cause something to not work. And then you don't want to pull anything out, but you want everything to be nice and snug and kind of fit together so that kind of hold each other together. All right, shove everything down a little in place, but It looks a little better. Probably not the best and nicest looking job that could be done, but it looks good. All right, put that cover back on. And obviously this was a ESP Les Paul style. All right, now we're going to remove the plastic covers. And we will tune it up. I don't remember if I did a quick setup on this or not, but it wasn't quite necessary. I don't think it was necessary. It looked pretty good. Yeah, looks like I was doing a little setup. Definitely repositioning the pickups. So with humbuckers, I like to do 4/64 on the neck pickup and 6 on the bridge. And you hold down the string on the very last fret of the guitar, and you measure from the pole pieces of the pickup to the bottom of the string. But that's really just a generic kind of thing. So you can move the pickups however you want to get whatever tone you want. So you don't have to leave them that way. You can raise or lower them to get a little higher output or a little mellower tone, whichever you want. So play around with that and see what works for you. That's one of the things that a lot of guitarists don't realize it or think about that affects their tone, but it absolutely does. Yep. So see here. Just using my 6-inch machinist rule. If you don't have one of those or something to adjust the height of your strings or your pickups or whatever it is, I definitely recommend it. Every guitar should have one. And we're good to go. If you have any questions, need any help, post in the comments or send me an email. Please like, subscribe, share, follow, whatever you can do definitely helps. And I hope this video helps. Later.